بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. ثم أما بعد. This is the introduction. This is the first part of tonight's seminar, the fundraiser and community dinner, Masjid Ukkasha here in Poughkeepsie, New York. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحافظ علينا جميعا وأن يبارك فينا في أوقاتنا وفي مجالسنا. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يشفي صدورنا ويكفر عن سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. آمين. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى to bless us, to bless the sitting, to forgive us for our shortcomings, heal our hearts, our souls, to heal us from all types of physical and spiritual ailments, and to make us die the death of the righteous. I mean, this topic, I'm just going to talk, believe it or not, as much as I talk, I'm going to talk for about 15 minutes. And I apologize for the delay. We were supposed to start at 5 o'clock. I'm going to ask anybody that comes in who has to pray, direct them to go to the furthest end of the masala. Don't post up in front of the people, Allahu Akbar, like they're Mecca, because we don't want to be the ones who distract them, and we don't want to be distracted what's going on in Catholic. So anybody that comes in that has to pray, go to the furthest end of the musalla. You don't have to raise your recitation too high, inshallah ta'ala. The topic is paramount, realistic, in our face, and it's very much a world issue, and it's not exclusive to any one particular group, people, religion, color, race, sex, social class. It's a real live issue, which we mentioned last week's khutbah, and the khutbah from yesterday, the issue of burnout. There's different types of burnout. There's emotional burnout. There's compassion burnout. There's occupational burnout. Believe it or not, there's religious burnout. There's all types of burnout. When a person becomes so exhausted in that thing that they feel that it's not for them, or they question their self-worth, or they feel that they're not capable anymore, or that they don't want to do that thing, they become exhausted with that thing, and so forth. Many times that happens before a person becomes what they call chronically depressed. Before a person becomes depressed, meaning for weeks, months, years, about the same issue, about their physical state, their spiritual state, their social state, their mental state, etc. Then oftentimes the depression doesn't show signs because people carry that inwardly, and outwardly it's masked with laughter and jokes and makeup and nice clothing and a charming personality, but on the inside the person is slowly dying from depression. And then you have that which is the peak of all of this, where there sometimes is return by Allah's mercy, and sometimes there's no return, and that's the issue. Where a person just says, "The hell with it. Why am I here? I can't take this pain. I'm going to take my life." Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. And so I'm just going to mention a few cases, because sometimes people, no matter what they hear, they still think, "Oh, that's not true." And then, inshallah, at 6:45, we have our dear brother, our beloved Shaikh Imam, who used to be a social worker himself, who was Imam in Cleveland, Ohio, and now he's in Chicago, who studied in Jamhur Arabiyatul Musriya, the Republic of Egypt. Imam Yusuf Rios is going to come live. He's going to talk about these three aspects of burnout: depression, suicide, services. Are we ready to deal? How we're going to cope? What we're going to do? And then, after he talks from 6:45 until 7:25, then at 7:25, we're going to have our brother and good friend of mine. He's founder of what's called the 5-2 Initiative, from the Surah Al-Ma'idah, in the second ayah, where Allah says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. So he took the 5 for Surah Al-Ma'idah, the 5th surah, and the 2, because ayah, yani Athaniya, about working together, and he made a organization called the 5-2 Initiative, and his name is Hanif Davis, and he also works in social services. He also works closely with the people in correction facility, and he also used to run mental health establishment, houses, and dealing with people with mental health. So he's going to talk also from 7:25 to 8:05, and then the program will conclude. So you don't have to hear much of the big mouth blind Shaikh Ukkasha tonight, because they're going to carry that weight, and they're going to talk from different perspectives. When I saw Allah and يبصرونهم ويهديهم ويوفقهم بخير. And may Allah enlighten their speech, make it something that is very blessed and directive, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them success. So this is the issue. If you go and you just, for me, I go on to YouTube and I search whatever I want to search in Arabic or English. So I search the issue to see, how real is it, And you have, cases inside of America, outside of America. One comes to mind, a lady, and she's a young lady, maybe 18 or 19. Some will call her a young kid, but she's a young lady. And what happened was, we live in the real world. Let's be real, first of all. So you have male and females interaction. And we understand the issue about the sexes should be separate. That's in a society where it's set up like that. But a lot of societies are not set up where the women or the ladies or the girls have their own schools and hospitals and this and that, and the men and the boys have their own. It's not set up like that. And then you're talking about going to public schools, and you have to walk the same streets and ride the same buses and so forth. You're going to interact. You're going to encounter one another. So the Muslim young lady, 18, 19, she has somebody named Salim. And you get from this, Salim, he's a Muslim. This is somewhere in Asia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, somewhere like this. And so she goes to meet him. Security guards that they enforce these type of policies. If they catch you, that's not your husband, that's not your wife, you know, especially if you look like you're youth and you're young, they already know, okay, that might not be his wife, that might not be her husband. So at any rate, they followed the girl and Wallah Musta'an, they took her, they dragged her, put her into a vehicle, took her to jail with accusation that, you know, you're with someone who's not your relative, you're with someone who's not your husband. And I don't know if they had evidence or if they suspected it, but that's what they did. And the girl couldn't take it. You know, she's in jail. She's away from her family. You know, I think they said they beat her and so forth. So she hung herself, killed herself. SubhanAllah. Amazing. You have another case. This is a non-Muslim, but we're talking about this happens to Muslims too. You know, this lady, they said that she was with some guy and she had relations with this guy. So this guy, you know, people are into showing. That's the whole thing about Facebook, to show and to talk and to share. So he took these pictures of this lady. I don't know if she agreed or disagreed, but just imagine, you know, you look on the internet and you see yourself, somebody's got your picture, your nude, all over the internet. Then he's got the story that he had sex with her and this and that. SubhanAllah, it became so much with her, you know, and then, you know, it was a story connected to it that other guys had relations with her, like a gang rape or something. She couldn't take it, she killed herself. Long story. You have the case where this was like, SubhanAllah, really bizarre, that a boy, 9 years old, 7 or 9 years old, he goes to school and the people are bothering him, racial slurs, calling him names, picking on him, bullying him, they call it, you know, taking stuff from him, knocking his hat off his head, smacking him on the ear, just bothering him. He goes to the authorities at the school, he complains, he makes a report, he goes home, he tells his parents, they think, okay, it's not that bad, it's not that, you know, serious, you'll be all right. But it's really like something that's escalating every day. The boy is being taunted and, you know, physically bothered and mentally tormented by these people, bothering him. Whatever, how he looks, his nose, his color, you're black, this, that, whatever, nigger, whatever. They're bothering him racially, he said. Picking on him. It became so bad that the boy went home and hung himself. No one paid attention to his, you know, cry. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. Toughen up. It's kind of the wrong thing to do. Invalidate somebody's pain, somebody's struggle. These are the signs, but they go unnoticed every day. Another story. Guys in the school, you know, subhanAllah, schools are not like they were before. You're in the bathroom, everybody has a camera. The boy's in the bathroom. Someone's secretly taking video of him. They posted on the internet. Said he was masturbating. They sent this thing all over the world. The whole school, all his friends, everybody knows about it. Every teacher, every student. He comes to school the next day. Everybody's bothering him, laughing at him, playing the video on their phone, showing them, making fun of him. The neighboring schools, the people in the other neighborhoods, the other districts. He was so embarrassed because I guess this was supposed to be private. Little did he know it wasn't private. And for us, we understand the Prophet he said, "Yani ka'annaka tarahu," like you see Allah. This for us, it helps us a lot if we respect that part of the religion, if we believe that part of the religion, that Allah is seeing you. But sometimes when you feel, okay, well, I don't see Allah, you know, whatever. Then you do stuff, Allah, it comes back to haunt you. this would happen to the boy. They bothered him, they embarrassed him, sent it all over the world, internet, push of a button, khalas. He killed himself. Got many stories. Famous Bollywood singer. And Allah Musta'an. Got Muslims making movies and videos and singing and dancing. Allah Musta'an. Divorce, a breakup. Allah Musta'an. Somebody loses their job. Allah Musta'an. Someone steals all of their money out of their account. Allah Musta'an. I have so many cases where people just commit suicide. It's amazing. Then you have some people, they tried and they lived to tell the story. Some people, they tried, they didn't succeed. They got hurt. They broke bones. They had self-inflicted wounds, but guess what? It wasn't written for them to die. And they told their stories. Some of them, they said, I wouldn't do it again. Some of them said, I realized how selfish I was and how much pain I caused those whom I love, and they love me, and I was going to leave them behind, and I would never put them through that pain again. Others said, I didn't succeed. I wish I was dead. And I'm going to do it again. And they did it again, and they succeeded. So this is a real serious situation. And it's not that everybody, because he's a Muslim, she's a Muslim, he reads Quran, she reads Quran, he fasts, that, what's going on, how could they do that? No, it's deeper than that. Allah is deeper than that. And a lot of times you'll find something almost tied to a person's upbringing and childhood that they never corrected or they never got help. They have this thing in adulthood trying to play adult with the very same youth that's still inside of them crying out for help. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us, because this is a day-to-day life that we live, and people on different levels with everything, and people are on different levels when it comes to this issue too. And as one of the imams, when he talked about this himself, Shaikh Muhammad Munir, he talked about this last week. He said that it's a difference between somebody thinking about suicide, somebody planning it, somebody doing it, and somebody going through with it. But just to think about it, subhanallah, it's not right. But it's reality. People think about it. But now to plan it, how are you going to do it? That's the next step. And then to actually go through with it, subhanallah, that's the third step. Then to not succeed or to succeed, Allah musta'an. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. And those who do not take a life that Allah didn't allow them to take. Well, this is a part of taking a life, when you take your own life. This is part of taking a life when you take your own life. And as a correction, there's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned. I keep quoting part of this hadith wrong. I listened to yesterday's khutbah, and then I used it before that, and I said, man, it's some kind of way. The Prophet ﷺ, he talked about a person's iman being worn out. That a person's iman, يخلق, it wears out. كما يخلق الثوب, just like a person's garment wears out. So anything that's created becomes old. This table can become old, the wall can become old, the light fixture can become old. This, garment, this jubba that I'm wearing, this cloak can become old. The kufi, the glasses. Ayi shay makhluk. Bikun qadiman. Muta. It can become old, it can become something that is worn. Salami said, each one of your faith in your chest, your iman, becomes like this because it's created. That's why it's not perfect. Your iman is created, it's part of you. Yazid bi yanqus, it goes up, it comes down. Yazid bi ta'ah, wa bi ilm sahih, it becomes stronger, it becomes increased, it becomes more beautiful, more beneficial. Your iman, when you do obedience, and when you gain knowledge and you practice it. Wayanqus, it depletes, it decreases, it becomes weak, it becomes less, it becomes worn. In ma'asiyah, when you do something wrong, when you disobey, when you do an immoral act, when you do something that's not cool, it's not right. وَبِجَهْلٍ كَذَلِكَ. And with something that's the opposite of knowledge, something that's ignorant, something that's sinful. The man takes a wear like clothing takes a wear. When the Prophet he said, فَاسْأَلُ So you all must ask Allah. And you jaddidu. I don't know why I keep saying and you jid. هذا ليس صحيح. استغفر الله and you jid. It's fine. La. And you jaddidu from jadid, something new. Tashdid, to renew. And you jaddidu. Allah is the one who's going to renew. Iman fi qulubikum. Now, ask Allah to renew the iman. You jaddidu. Yani to renew, to make it like you just got it yesterday. And you jaddidu. Make it free from weakness and, feeling lack of hope and that the iman is, worthless. And you jaddidu, make it kuwiyun, jaziman, make it like a coat of armor. Make it jamilun, beautiful in your eyes when you want to keep going, you want to keep worshiping, you want to keep believing, you want to keep steering away from what's wrong. And you jaddidu iman fi qulubikum. Prophet says, so ask Allah to renew the iman in the hearts of yours. Keep mentioning that word wrong is an yujaddidu. Now, this wallahi is the only thing we see that's the problem at hand, the disobedience, the sins, the trials of what's wrong that we wrestle with in our lives. Wallahi, this is the thing that leads up to the burnout, the depression, and suicide. Allah musta'an. And it only takes a little bit because of subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخُلَقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. It's created human beings weak. You're happy today. You're happy right now. Somebody say something or do something, piss you off, you go from 0 to 60. Just like that. You say, wait a minute, you were just happy. What happened? Beautiful trip. Everybody experienced it before. Doing a nice trip. 3-4 hours into the trip, things going beautiful. You say one thing, or your wife say one thing, or you respond in an inappropriate way, or you snap, or you say something that's old, and now here you go, you would have made a whole problem for yourself. The whole trip is ruined in a second. And you're trying to figure out what happened. Because human beings are weak. Weak, Allah musta'an. You're hungry, have an appetite, you want to eat, somebody piss you off, now you ain't hungry no more. Just like that, you were just hungry. Stomach was growling. Wallahi. You could smell food, you were so hungry. Piss you off, you don't want to eat. How the nerve to throw the food down. I don't want this crap. Wallahi. What if the sound of Da'if? We're weak, man. We're weak. Allah Azza wa Jalla told us that. We have to own up to it. The more we own up to it, the more it makes us like that. Subhanallah. So, Inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, want to stop here and eat, and the people online, we're going to come back at 6:45. Sheikh Yusuf, Hafizahullah tabarak wa ta'ala, from the Learning Center, he's going to tune in, he's going to give us, subhanAllah, I hope you're sitting down. The Shaykh comes on, mashallah. You know, make sure you put an extra pin in your khimar and put the string around your kufi so it can stay on. Inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala. So inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, we'll stop here. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, Muhammad.